So, BlizzCon is over. We have all the info they're gonna be giving us for the foreseeable future. What do we do now except speculate? So here's what we'll do. I put together a list of completely new classes I would like to see in Diablo. This is just a wish list and nothing more. This is just what I would want to see. Some of them might be impossible, and not because it's such a highly thought out idea, just because there might already be things we've seen that makes these characters irrelevant. That's a total possibility, especially one of them. I've come up with 4 different classes I would be interested to see in the future of Diablo, be it in this game or anything in the future. So, first off, Shaman. The Shaman right away I don't think is a possibility for this game, for one simple reason. We already have a character that controls both lightning and earth, the Druid. So why would I still want to see a Shaman? So in my mind, we're not dealing with an elemental Shaman from WoW, we're dealing with an enhancement Shaman from WoW that could either dual wield or go with a big two-hander. I'm leaning more towards the dual wield to make it more of a intelligence agility hybrid, like quick melee attacks with 2 weapons and enhance them with electricity and, you know, shoot chain lightning out of your weapons when you hit people, like stuff like that. Something cool and different. So even though we already have the Druid controlling both earth and electricity, I think there's room for a Shaman type character who focuses more on the elements in melee combats. Maybe the Shaman could use the earth in a way of crowd control, like stunning enemies, knocking them back, pushing them towards people. That'd be cool. Something like that. Like I said though, the Shaman is probably the least likely on this list to happen. Maybe I have one wild card at the end, but I still would like to see them attempt to make a Shaman, even though I do not expect them to do it in base game. If the Shaman is to ever become real, it would have to be through an expansion pack. Because as it is, it would feel kind of redundant to have 2 characters focusing on electricity and earth. The way around it could be a restoration shaman, but I don't know how interesting it would be to play Diablo as a exclusively healing character. I know the monk was kind of played that way in ranked groups of Diablo 3, but I'm not sure how interesting that would be for an entire class to be built around. My second idea would be a ranger type character. You might say, well, we had the demon hunter in Diablo 3. We already have bow characters. And to you I say, no, not a simple demon hunter, not a rogue from Diablo 1, not an Amazon from Diablo 2. To you I say, a ranger like Aragorn. Think about that. A character wearing leather type armor, big cloaks, cool hooded gear, with a bow and a 2-handed sword. I think that's a solid idea. If I'm being completely honest, it came to me out of nowhere. I'm sure there's someone who's talked about this. Someone has to have had this idea for Diablo sometime. I mean, the game's from the 90s. Someone must have mentioned this sometime. But I've never heard anyone mention it. And when it came to me, I felt I had to mention it because I loved the visual of it. With the cool way the weapon system works, with the dynamic form shifting of the druid and the barbarian being able to wield up to 4 different weapons, the ranger could have 2 weapon slots, one for a 2-handed weapon and one for a bow. So when he's at range, he has a specific set of abilities, but then when he gets close to enemies, he draws his sword because he starts using different ones. I think that would be a cool interaction with the new fighting system they have going on in Diablo 4. And I just felt like this could actually work in the game. And it's something I would actually love to see. Another one I've been thinking about is the Haradrim. I almost expected there to be a Haradrim character in Diablo 3 if there ever was to be a second expansion pack. Because they have a very unique design. It was ultimately what convinced me that the trailer was about Diablo when the guy in pursuit of knowledge was thrown into the pillar and I could see his satchel of scrolls and stuff.
Must be hidden here somewhere. Read this.
three they come by, three thy way opens by the blood of them. Willing. Hail. Hail the Creator.
They would have a cloth base for their gear, and then they would be clad in heavy armor over it. You would basically be running around as a medieval version of a temple guardian from Star Wars, which I think is a cool idea. You'd be running around with this big pole arm, this heavy armor, but you're still wearing like a giant robe under it. You'd basically be playing as a young fighting Deckard Cain, in my mind. If the monk and Deckard Cain and the Haradrim NPC from Adventure Mode and the story in Diablo 3 Reaper of Souls, if those three characters collided, that's basically what I want out of this character. As you might have realized by now, most of my ideas are based on visuals. That's mostly because I haven't played the game yet. I don't know how it feels. The big thing I know about the game is the seamless transitions between abilities. And I'm not sure how that would work with the Haradrim, or even if it would be necessary. It would be cool though if they could choose between using a polearm or fighting with their fists. Because that's a visual I always liked with the monk in Diablo 3. And the final one. This is a wild card, I warn you, and before I describe this, be open-minded when I tell you this. Here's my idea, right? Half demon. You have a character with a light red tint to the skin. Kind of like, imagine a lighter version of what Lilith looked like when she came out of the blood web thing. He has sharp teeth. Small demon horns. Like imagine the ones that held Talrasha's face taped to Bale's face after he broke out of the host body. And the main feature is that he has one red infected arm with spikes on it and sharp claws. Only one arm. It might sound like I'm describing Hellboy, which I'm not. I know Hellboy is a demon of sorts. However, that's not what I'm looking for here. I'm looking for a more gritty, disgusting version. So what I did is I thought this up and then I googled for half demons. And I found two interesting pictures. One of them is from Magic the Gathering. He looks like a bit like the scoundrel from Diablo 3, if he was a demon. So imagine kind of that skin tone, maybe a bit lighter, but that calm, cool style, mixed with this half-demon from a mobile game called Legend of the Crypt, because that's the arm I'm talking about. And almost those types of horns. Those horns are very close, but I will show you again the picture of Bale and what the horns on the edge of his face looked like that held Talrasha's skin on his face. But this picture of the half-demon from this mobile game called Legend of the Cryptids, I've never heard of it, I just saw this picture and I think it looks great. That's basically the demon arm I want, but maybe a longer shoulder spike. Not shoulder spike, maybe a longer elbow spike. And also you should have a single one-handed sword, just like that picture. That would be awesome. And the weapon system could be used so that he either fights with his fist, or he fights with the blade, or he can combine them to do something cool. That's basically what I want from this character. This, like I said, this is a wild card addition just to my weird list here at the end, but I think this could work. And I know we're going for a more realistic, not realistic, but a more grounded, gritty version of Diablo, which is why I think he shouldn't be completely red and just have the arm be red, but still keep the horns from Bale and the sharp teeth. He could basically be a Ronin demon, is what I'm leaning towards here. And even if this one probably never will happen, it's something I would love to see sometime in the future. So, those are my 4 strange wishlist classes for Diablo 4. Now, do I think any of them will happen? Probably not. Which one would I like the most? Probably the Ranger. Second place, Half Demon, if I'm being honest. I was more hyped on the Shaman when I started doing this, but even though I think it's a great idea, I just think that because we have the Druid, it wouldn't fit in the game for a long time, because electricity and earth is already claimed, basically. Now the Haradrim I think would be a safe pick for them, but I don't think it's a bad one. There's a lot you could do with a Haradrim character that you wouldn't be able to otherwise. Mainly a bunch of lore stuff, which is the main reason I want a Haradrim class, for the lore. But like I said, the Ranger is my top pick, and I think the Ranger could happen. I don't think the Ranger... None of these are real guesses towards what I think the last two are. These are purely what I would like to see in the future. And I would also like to hear what you would want to see. Something completely new, something we haven't seen in Diablo before. I would love to hear it. So put some notes down in the comments and tell me your cool class ideas. Fresh, completely fresh class ideas that we've never seen in Diablo before. Because odds are you have a better imagination than I do. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed some of my weird, out there ideas. And I'll see you next time.